Hi, welcome to Eat Right New Hampshire. My name is Peggy Connors. I'm from Parkland Medical Center and I work with the New Hampshire Dietetic Association. Today we have with us Alicia Rossman. She works at Concord Hospital and she also has her own business named
Let's Get Moving.
Let's Get Moving. Tell us something about Let's Get Moving.
So I typically work with children. I go into schools, daycare centers, preschools, and teach yoga and nutrition to children, teaching them how to have a healthy lifestyle and also have fun while doing it.
That's great.
Yeah.
We'll talk about some of that today, and we're also going to talk about everybody's favorite subject when it comes to food in the month of January, New Year's resolutions. There's a lot of different ways to handle it, kickstart it, keep it going, keep it sustainable, and hopefully we'll be able to delve into some of those today with Alicia. Tell me something about your work at Concord.
Yeah, so I work at the Center for Health Promotion, and I also work in the Nutrition and Diabetes office as well. So two different focuses there. One is we accept insurance at the Nutrition and Diabetes Center, and the other one is a voluntary place where you voluntarily decide to go and change your lifestyle. So we offer exercise classes at the Center for Health Promotion, nutrition, meditation, cooking classes, anything that has to do with health is kind of what we do there. And we put out a publication called Reach a couple times a year, and we send it out to different houses, and about 5,000 copies get distributed to the area. So people can check to see what we're doing in that newsletter, but they can also go online to concordhospital.org and click on the wellness link and find all the different classes that we're offering.
So one of the ones has to do very specifically now with
Yes.
New Year's resolutions. I think we all have them.
Yes.
Everybody has the best intentions. And this is, I'm really going to, but then all of a sudden it's January 15th and nobody can remember what they even were
Right.
anymore. So how is the program, or any program, how could any program stop that kind of snowball effect?
Right. So some of the classes that we do there are weight loss classes, and those are the big kind of New Year's resolution topic, is usually to lose weight.
Right.
Or people sign up for the gym. Gym memberships go through the roof in January. And so to kind of stay on top of it and stay successful, maybe looking at it instead of weight loss, but maybe healthy lifestyle. So maybe the New Year's resolution instead is healthy lifestyle. That way you're not putting pressure on yourself to lose a certain amount of weight, but you're doing this to be healthier, or maybe control your maybe your HDL or your LDL levels, or maybe you're diabetic and you have insulin that you're taking. With weight loss, you can actually have your insulin rates adjusted. You might not need as much as you did before with healthier eating and healthier behaviors.
I think that if the healthy eating piece takes on the big picture.
Right.
And if you've got so much pressure with that and then a lot of people are, if they fall off the wagon with a candy bar, oh,
Right.
well, that's it.
Right.
So we got to work with people to know that it's okay to fall off and get back up again.
Exactly, yeah. And setting small goals for yourself that are realistic, so that you're not deciding, oh, this is too difficult, I can't continue with it. Because when you set a really high goal for yourself, it does put a lot of pressure on yourself. So small goals, maybe that change weekly, and a long-term goal, so that you're not putting too much
pressure on.
Yeah.
You're right. I think that having a program to go to, though, also helps.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing it by yourself,
Right.
it's easy to stop.
Right.
You have no peer pressure,
Right.
et cetera. So I think is some of that incorporated into this to say, do it with a buddy, do it with a
Right.
pal.
Yeah, a lot of things now, like the MyFitnessPal and the Fitbits, you can actually create groups with those tools. So MyFitnessPal is a website that you can use to track what you're eating and your activity as well. And the Fitbit is something they created to monitor your activity as well as your sleep patterns and things like that. So creating groups to kind of have a little competition can sometimes be helpful too. But prioritizing your time is one of the biggest downfalls to New Year's resolutions not going forward.
Going off the track.
So something like creating a pie chart for yourself. So a pie chart of what your life looks like now. I always hear people say, I don't have time. But there are a lot of people that find out how to make the time. So if you change your talk, the way you're saying it, of I don't have the time versus I'm going to make the time to fit this into my lifestyle. And so you make this pie chart, maybe 50% of it is work, and then how much of it is family, how much of it is cooking, how much of it is pleasurable activities for yourself, exercise, things like that. So you see what your life looks like right now on this pie chart, and then right next to it, you do something of what you'd like it to look like. So it's a helpful tool for you to be more successful in the long run.
And you do that yourself, so you're creating your own little package of where you want to go and where you need to be.
Right, yeah. And the other thing that's helpful for people is doing what's called a vision board. So you have a piece of paper, and what's your main goal this year for your New Year's resolution? You put that right in the center, and then around it you have maybe pictures, or you use a magazine or a newspaper or something like that to get pictures, quotes, what's surrounding your New Year's resolution. Maybe it's to go out for more walks. So in the center of the photo you have someone walking, and then around it you figure out how you're going to get that to happen. Right.
Where am I going to get the time? Who might I be able to go with?
Right.
Where can I walk? Can I vary the walk so I don't get bored?
Right. Yeah. And finding different community activities. Most towns have rec centers, recreation centers, and they usually have some sort of fitness classes going on that are lower cost than some gyms sometimes.
YMCAs are good for that too.
YMCAs are great for that, yep. And signing up for different 5K road races, just because you might not be able to run competitively doesn't mean you can't actually partake in it. It's a fun community event that also raises money, usually for some sort of charity.
And a lot of those 5Ks, some of them, not a lot, but some of them are walk and run.
Right.
So you don't have to feel like, oh, I could never run 5K.
Right.
But I could walk and run and walk and run and get there.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to be the winner.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
You are if you get to the end, though.
Everyone's a winner when you cross the finish line.
Everyone.
Yeah.
So what do you think some other helpful hints might be for people to stay on track once they've found their niche? Once they've found out what they need to do and they're on that path, that January 15th business.
Right. So sometimes it's just a switch of how you're thinking. So when you go out to eat at a restaurant, what kind of foods are you going to order when you're at the restaurant? Is it going to be a fried food, something with a lot of creamy sauce on it? Are you going to eat the entire entree, entire portion? So just switching your mindset of how you're going to live, and even the way your refrigerator looks, the way your pantry looks, maybe that's part of your healthy living for your New Year's resolution. I did bring some mason jars here. I do teach a mason jar class at the hospital, and I myself have changed to using this in my house because sometimes you just look in your fridge and it just looks like the same old, and you just get...
Looks dull.
Right, it looks dull. So when you have it in a mason jar and you package it nicely, it's more appetizing and you're more apt to use what you have in the fridge rather than throw it away. So Americans typically throw away about $500 worth of food just because it goes bad in the refrigerator. So flipping that switch again for your mindset, thinking food is medicine. So I've heard that term so many times. And you know, people are opening their cabinets for their medicine cabinet, and a lot of times it's more than one pill. So thinking of using food as medicine, getting different colors of fruits and vegetables. There's all different vitamins and minerals and phytonutrients and fruits and vegetables, and typically most Americans just kind of eat the same thing every single day. Yeah.
I think that planning has a lot to do with it.
Absolutely.
And if you open your refrigerator and you see that jar of strawberries in there, then you'll use it. If you open it and see a hunk of salami in there, then you'll use that. So it's like looking at, okay, where plan down the road, make sure I have the right things in my refrigerator. It's easier, I think, at the grocery store than it is at the refrigerator door.
Right, yeah. So one of the things, too, you can do with the mason jars is you can make grab-and-go meals for yourself. So a lot of people, they say, I don't have time. So maybe they make time in their weekend to prepare meals so that when they're getting ready for their workday, they just go into the refrigerator and grab what it is that they need. So this is an example of like a mason jar salad, and if you Google mason jar salads, you'll find on Google Images hundreds and thousands of pictures of really beautiful meals that you can take to work, to the beach, and people start asking you, you know, how you're doing and what you're doing, and it's just a beautiful way. So it's cabbage on the bottom, carrots, and then just lettuce. So usually you want to put like the heaviest stuff on the bottom and the lettuce on the top. So you could put chickpeas in there, you can put seeds, nuts, anything that appetizes you. You can make it into a different meal as well, like a Mexican type salad or something like that. So.
And we'll come back to those mason jars again right after this message from the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics.
Hello, I'm registered dietitian Bethany Thayer. Food and nutrition is a hot topic in America today. Television, newspapers, magazines, and the internet are flooded with information about what foods you should or shouldn't be eating, magical celebrity diets, and the latest additive or supplement guaranteeing instant results. What should you believe? Who can you trust? When you're looking for practical, affordable, and accurate nutrition information, you should be seeking the expert guidance of a registered dietitian. With our expertise, training, and credentials, registered dietitians can help anyone translate nutrition science into a healthy lifestyle. Registered dietitians must meet several academic and professional requirements in order to earn the RD credential, including earning at least a bachelor's degree, completing a supervised practice program, and passing a registration examination. It's this education and training that distinguishes registered dietitians as the food and nutrition experts, a distinction that's very important when determining where you get your nutrition information. And while you may see people calling themselves nutritionists, remember that in many states, the term nutritionist can be used by anyone, regardless of their educational or professional background. To ensure you're getting trusted, science-based nutrition information, be sure you are looking for the RD credential next to the person's name. To find a registered dietitian in your area, visit www.eatright.org.
So, Alicia, tell me some more about what we can put in our mason jars.
Yeah, so I've been doing some things for my breakfast recently. I have yogurt on the bottom, and I've been putting berries. I have blackberries in here. I've also been putting coconut flakes, different seeds like chia seeds, hemp seeds, things like that to add a little crunch, even some granola. I have granola in this jar here. So usually what I do is I just put a little bit of each thing in my breakfast and make it a little bit different every day. Sometimes it's steel cut oats in there. I do have steel cut oats here. This is what steel cut oats look like dry. But I usually make a batch to last throughout the week in the refrigerator and just kind of add to it to make it tasty.
What do you mean by make a batch?
So I usually do, just like you would for oatmeal, I make a batch of steel cut oats, and then I put it in a container, mason jar, in the refrigerator, and I just kind of keep it in a mason jar, and then I scoop out a little bit, put it in a smaller container that's portion sized out for a breakfast. And then I add different fruit, nuts, and seeds, again, same thing that I would do for yogurt.
So you are doing your planning at the grocery store because
Yes,
you have all
absolutely.
those additives ahead of time.
Ahead of time, yeah.
So it's the planning piece that is
Yes.
the key here.
Yeah, absolutely. And also having things on hand, like this one here is quinoa. So some people, they've never heard of quinoa before, and it's spelled kind of funny. They say quinoa, or they have lots of different funny
Right.
names for it, but quinoa is a really great complete protein whole grain as well that, lasts, you put it in the mason jar and you can make, just like brown rice, making some sort of whole grain to have with your lunches or dinners.
Quinoa is a little more nutty flavored, though. It has
Right.
more,
Yeah.
I think it has more character and more substance than,
Yes.
than a rice does.
Absolutely, yeah. And you can have it as a hot dish or a cold dish. So I've made quinoa a lot of different ways, one with like roasted vegetables, some sauteed kale, onions, and salt and pepper, and just a little bit of a dressing like balsamic vinegar and oil, and serve it cold. So typically people think of like brown rice as served hot, But other grains like quinoa can be served cold just as nicely, or in the summer with like some grapes and some walnuts and some other kinds of things to make it a summery type dish.
I think quinoa is the kind of thing that you can add almost anything to.
Absolutely.
Whether it's fruits, whether it's vegetables, whether it's more nuts, and make something really interesting out of it.
Yeah, yeah. So this, I've been having a lot of fun with it. I've bought all different size jars. I even have my flour in jars at home, just because really when I open the cabinet, it just looks so much nicer than things in boxes. Yeah.
Everything looks neat in your
Yeah,
cabinets. I
yeah.
can just see it. Line your socks up in the drawer.
No, my socks are not organized. But this is a lot of fun, and people need these helpful hints when they're trying to do the weight loss and reprioritize, because so many people just get stuck in that rut of same old, and this can help people get more creative and go online, look up recipes on like foodnetwork.com, the Whole Grains Council, .org has some great recipes as well. So really just getting people in the kitchen is a big piece of weight loss as well.
I think what we have available today online is so valuable for people. Like you mentioned, the Fitbit and My Pal.
My Fitness
Pal.
Yeah.
They're easy to use. They're right there. And it's another way, if you don't hook up with somebody like we talked about before, to be able to work with or exercise with. And you almost feel like you're obligated to that Fitbit or obligated to that program online.
Yeah.
So if you grab onto something, whether it's a partner or a program, you have a little bit more ammunition in your pocket when you start off your trek towards your resolution.
Right. We're talking about accountability too, especially with the Fitbit, adding something that counts your steps or adding something that's some sort of accountability factor. Jason, as is, who does fitness for the employees at the hospital that I work at Concord, he said that just by wearing a Fitbit, people increase their steps by 43%. So if that's just, one thing that you want to do to kind of kick off your New Year's resolution, that can be something that can be helpful.
You feel obligated to that thing on your wrist.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at Concord, it seems like you do have at the Weight Loss Center?
Center for Health Promotion, yeah.
Health Promotion. Quite a few programs going on. What's happening in the spring?
So in the spring we have National Nutrition Month in March coming up, and we also have National Heart Month in April, or actually, let me make sure I get that right. I think it might be February.
I think Heart Month is February.
Yes, it is. Yep, it's February. So we're going to be doing some Go Red for Women Heart Healthy cooking classes, Cooking 101 kitchen tools. National Nutrition Month, actually, one of the dietitians and myself were doing soup, stews, and crock pot meals. So that'll be fun to teach people, again, making things to last you. You can freeze soups, you can have them, make a big batch and freeze it. Same thing with like tomato sauce and things like that. So we're going to be teaching that, as well as a class on fighting inflammation with food. So that's a pretty big
That's a
topic.
big topic these days, inflammation. We just, one of the dairy recreation lecture series we had recently focused on inflammation and how does that affect you and what you eat.
Right, yeah. One of the classes that I teach too, the weight loss classes, one of my main topics is about inflammation and what we're eating, what we're putting into our bodies as food, but also hair products, skin products, what we're spraying in the house, our cleaning products.
How they all affect
inflammation in the body, and laundry detergent even. So I do have one class where we teach people how to make their own laundry detergent and lotions and things like that. So
you're really getting
I'm into it, yeah. It's a lot of fun. You do have to make the time though. I mean,
you do.
Yeah, for me, I love making things. So it's something that's fun. It's something I look forward to. But some people would rather pay $18 for a laundry detergent that someone else made for them.
And they're not quite sure what's in it.
Exactly.
Okay.
But well, the $18 ones though are the more natural ones. So it gets expensive. So sometimes people say, well, it's too expensive to
Go natural.
go natural, but it's not as expensive if you do make your own at home. So it really
That's
doesn't take
something to
that
look
long
into.
either. Yeah.
That's
It's
something
fun.
to look into.
Yeah, yeah.
And you don't have all the additives
Right.
that they have to put in to make them last long enough.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah. That's
So
interesting.
going back to your jars here,
Yep.
I think there's some good things about meals also besides just salads.
Right.
Do you use them for, I don't know, taking kids' lunches or things like that?
Yeah, people can do that for kids' lunches or even for your own lunch. Usually what I do is whatever I cooked for dinner the night before, I try to repurpose it into a different meal. So it's not like I'm eating the same thing the next day. So I use the mason jars pretty much just as a way to transport the food and also make it look nice. So say I had like baked chicken the night before for dinner, maybe I'll chop the chicken up and put a little bit of different spices on it and put it in with the salad to give, you know, the salad a little bit of a different taste.
So you
it's-
can repurpose anything.
Right, yeah, with a little imagination and creativity, right?
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah. But the classes, you know, those are the ways to help people get that creativity and get their wheels turning, because some people just really have never cooked before. So it's,
So the classes at Concord, all these different classes we've been talking about, there's a fee for them.
right, yep. Most of
And
the,
how can people find out about it?
yeah, so most of the classes that I teach are about $10 a class, anywhere from $10 to $20. And then
Very
the,
reasonable.
yeah, and then the weight loss classes, it's like a 12-week series program. Those ones are range in price. We have a few different weight loss programs depending on what people are looking for. But people can look in our REACH publication or go on to concordhospital.org and look on the wellness tab to find out all the different classes we offer. But the class that I have coming up is called Not Your Typical Weight Loss Program. And pretty much just because it really isn't just about food, I talk about the whole gamut. A lot of people think weight loss, all I need to do is eat differently, but it's really
Lifestyle.
lifestyle changes, yeah. So that's what we focus on, is lifestyle changes.
Besides food, what do you tell people that they should be looking at in their lifestyle?
So the exercise piece, the recommendation is actually 60 minutes a day for exercise, which is not feasible for most people. So any kind of exercise, even if it's 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, still a step in the right direction. Finding something that you enjoy doing exercise-wise, because if it's something that you really just don't like, it's probably not going to happen.
It's not sustainable.
Right, exactly. So that's something that we do in classes. We talk about shopping, how to navigate the supermarket, talk about local farmers markets and where they can find local food. Most of the time when you go to the farmers market, you'll find things that you've never seen in the grocery store. The farmers are right there to tell you about what it is, how to cook it, what it's used for, how they grow it. So it's a really nice way to get to know people in the community, and you're supporting your local economy as well.
And
by
more
doing that.
sustainable.
More sustainable, and it's healthier too. A lot of the farmers are organic farmers, not using as much pesticides as some other companies are using. And you can actually, on the box of like strawberries or whatever it is that you're buying produce-wise, you can see it says on there, product of Mexico, product
Right.
of, you
California.
know, California, yeah. So looking into where your food is coming from is a really, really important.
Okay, Alicia, thank you so much. You brought us some great information
Thank you.
today. If people want to find out more about the Concord Hospital programs, go online to concordhospital.com.
.org, yeah.
.org, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's okay.
And the one section is
Center for Health Promotion, it's the wellness tab that
the
they will
wellness
click
tab.
on. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for being with us
Thank
today.
you for having me.
Thank you for joining us at Eat Right New Hampshire. And don't forget, health happens one bite at a time.